Before I go into a quick demonstration, I want to show a couple of illustrations regarding folds. And this is a video that I am putting together that was requested some time back. Someone had asked if I could do a video demonstrating drawing folds in clothing. And thank you for that suggestion. I hope that this video not only answers the question, but the posting of it will be timely. Okay, and I want to share these illustrations. In the first illustration, I want to point out the direction of the folds. As the subject moves or takes a pose, the folds move in the direction of the action, or they anchor at a point that reveals the movement. The folds of clothing wrap around the form of the arm like a second skin. Although it's loose, it still depends on the form beneath to give it its shape. Probably the most important thing is to remember is that the clothing has to conform to the shape of the forms that it covers. The sleeve follows the form of the arm and echoes the roundness of it, appearing as solid as the form of the arm if that arm were exposed. In this second illustration, which is a little bit more complicated than that first one, we see how there are several anchors that reveal the pulling and the resting of the folds, as well as how the forms underneath stretched and bend the clothing to form the folds. The most obvious point would be the bend of the elbow. The elbow is the point of greatest stress, and as the folds are anchored on that point, it also creates the folds at the bend of the arm. The clothing is stretched from the shoulder to the elbow and from the wrist to the elbow, and on the bend of the arm just above it, the clothing bunches up, creating folds that also flow in the direction of the elbow. From the shoulder, the shirt also stretches, anchored at the buttocks, giving the direction of the weight and the center of gravity for the seated figure. Lastly, the knee also anchors the folds of the pants, pulling the folds in its direction from the seat of his pants and from the bend of his midsection. The headdress also has folds that wrap around the shape of his head and form a loose knot to hold his hair. For this first demonstration, I will start by trying to find the arm underneath the clothing. I don't normally do this, but I want to demonstrate that I am aware of what's underneath the clothing, giving its shape and its solidity. What we are really drawing is the arm that is covered by the clothing. It still needs to read as an arm. Think of it in this way. If you were to throw a tablecloth on the floor, all you will see is a piece of cloth. When it is draped over the table, it takes the shape of that table and we recognize it as a tablecloth. So we are actually drawing the arm, and the clothing helps us to reveal the arm underneath. When I see and understand the fold of the arm, I can better understand where the anchor points are and the direction of the folds in the clothing. Here, the anchor points are the elbow and the shoulder. As a result, the folds are turning towards the bend of the arm. The folds around the shoulder are also being pulled into the armpit. Although I'm not discussing it in this video, I'm obviously using light and dark to show the direction of the light, and that just adds extra emphasis on the folds of the clothing. And now you can do this in a linear way and still reveal the folds of the clothing, but the drawing benefits from the application of light and dark, obviously. I'm not really making this video about light and dark, but I'm using it, of course, as a tool to help guide or to help reveal the folds in the drawing, in the demonstration. But it remains, I'm really looking at the anchor points and the pull in the direction of the folds and how they are formed. The light and dark just helps me to clarify it, to make it more simpler to read. For this last demonstration, I am showing the folds of the clothing that drape over the legs. I again start out by trying to find the shape of the leg underneath the clothing. Really, all I need is a gesture of the leg revealing how strongly the knee is pushing against the cloth. I give a bit more shape to what I believe are the forms underneath for the sake of the demonstration to make it clear that as I draw the folds, what I am doing is revealing the form underneath the clothing. The pants are very loose around the legs, so there are a lot of interesting folds. But for the sake of clarity, I try to concentrate only on the folds that I need to reveal the shape of the leg. You don't have to draw every fold, but you do have to find the most important ones that explain what you are drawing. Think of it as trying to verbally give a description of something like a tree. You see a magnificent tree with many leaves and you're impressed by it. You can go ahead and describe every single leaf on the tree and give a description of the texture of the bark as well as all the roots. Say there are like tons of roots stretching all over the place, etc. Or you can give a more concise description of just what makes the tree interesting to you. Stick to the important details. It makes for a better conversation. It makes it less boring because you don't want all those details. You want to get to the point because ultimately the painting is not going to be about the leg. The painting is going to be about the person who that leg belongs to. So you don't want to get lost in all those details. So in the end, I believe I put in more information than I actually needed about this leg. Just like I did when I was drawing the arm and I paid attention to the elbow. I pay attention again to the pull of the knee on the pants and how the direction of the folds converge on the knee. In the end, the thing to concentrate on when drawing folds is that you are actually drawing the thing that is giving the folds its shape. So that pretty much does it for this demonstration. I hope this video was helpful and I hope you enjoyed looking through this video, and if you followed me throughout this whole video this far to the very end, please hit like and subscribe. It just helps my channel, helps it to get out there, and helps me to get more views and so forth, and it doesn't cost you anything. Also below there are some links to my website and my Gumroad page where you can find more videos, and my website you can find more examples of the work that I do. Alright, so I want to thank you for watching my video, and I will be here next Tuesday with another video. Thank you very much. Bye bye.